Hi everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful 3-day weekend. Yeah, as a reminder, the college is closed tomorrow, Monday, November 10th. And so this is our weekly update. It's hard to believe that it's already November. And essentially, we have about a month to go until the end of the semester. So we do have a big week coming up. And as you can see, so I'm sharing my screen. Um, so we have the chapter on light, chapter 11, that is due on November 11th. So the deadlines are a little bit different this week because of the holiday. So it shifted. But as a reminder, this is the last chapter of Unit 3. And that means that we have an exam coming up for Unit 3. So what you will find here is the exam information. So please take a look because you can see that it will be open for just as long, but it is shifted this time around because of the holiday. So the exam will be open after the deadline for our last chapter of Unit 3. And that's why it's going to open on Wednesday this time. And it will stay open through Sunday. Everything else is the same as the other exams that we had before, where you will have two attempts and you have 3 hours to complete essentially the 35 multiple choice questions. But yeah, so pay attention to the dates here because it will open Wednesday instead of Monday and be available through Sunday. That will also affect the deadline for our upcoming chapter. So now we're going into Unit 4. So since we're closing up Unit 3, right, with this week, um, the chapter of light, downlight that we just completed. So we are now going into Unit 4 on modern physics. It's exciting. It's our last unit. We're going to be not questioning what we've learned so far, but you'll see that the material here is going to test the limits of what we had learned so far with, classical mechanics. So as you can see, Unit 4 has 3 chapters. So we're going from quantum mechanics, special relativity, and then finally nuclear and particle physics. Um, we're going to do this in 3 weeks. It's because for this course, we are looking at, all of these physics concepts. So for all of them, we could be spending a lot more time. But this is really about, getting the main concepts, understanding so that you can learn more about the ones that you're interested in and maybe continue with other physics courses. Or, looking at, how this physics may apply to your life or your future jobs, etc. Um, and so we're going to see with quantum mechanics, for example, that there it may not be obvious, but there are applications to in your everyday life. And the discussion this week will talk a little bit about that. And beyond that, I think it's also important to understand the world that we live in. And I really like this part of the semester because this is really, I think these are the topics that got me really interested in physics personally. And so we're going to, as I said, sort of question some things because we're going to look at examples of situations where what we've learned is not going to work, because with quantum mechanics, we're going to look at very, very small things. And as it turns out, when we do that, the classical approach is no longer going to be working. When we look at special relativity, we're looking at objects that are moving very fast. And what we've learned, we see about kinematics and everything that we learned at the beginning of the semester, we'll see will reach a limit there. And it's not going to be able to um, describe some very fast-moving particles and things that are important because they make up, what we're made of. And that goes into the last chapter, chapter 14, nuclear and particle physics. So really looking at the fundamental things that make us and the universe we live in. So that's going to be Unit 4. And I just want to point out that there is no, as you can see, exam 4, because then this will be part of the final exam. And you do have some practice questions for just Unit 4, since we had the practice exam for Unit 1, 2, and 3. So this is sort of the equivalent of that. And then there's a practice final exam on all chapters. But we'll see that in addition to the questions that you'll see in the chapters, we will also, in the actual final, there will be presentation questions from the questions that you will be submitting. So we do have time, this is due November 23rd, essentially, but I did want to remind you that the presentation along with the questions, so these will be multiple choice questions with one possible answer. You'll be providing two. I will then share them out along with your presentations to the rest of the class ahead of the final. So you'll have all these questions ahead of time. So meaning that you'll get access to the questions that will be on the final ahead of time. And so this is due November 23rd. And because I will need time to process all of the videos and the questions and create those pages for you to see. This is where really everything for your project is going to be due. So November 23rd. So again, if you need support with this, please do not hesitate to reach out. There's still time. If I know some groups may want to make a lot of changes to their project, that's absolutely fine. There's still time to do that. But the goal, right, is to turn in everything by November 23rd. All right, so that was sort of right. So exam 3 coming up this week, and then thinking about project part 3. And then finally, for this week, we are going to talk about quantum mechanics. So we already did an overview of Unit 4. And so what I want to show you now is this chapter on quantum mechanics. And again, so as I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, and the point is not to do the lecture here because we have the lecture videos for this. But with quantum mechanics, essentially some phenomena that were observed at a submicroscopic level could not be explained by classical physics. So everything we've learned so far, we reached that limit of what, it could, how far it would work. And so that's where quantum mechanics came into play. Quantum, you'll see, because we talk about quanta of energy, and really this is, photons, and we talk about that a little bit when we talk about, light and optics. But here we're going to go, do an overview of quantum mechanics. Again, this is a topic that is notorious for being very complex. And so with this chapter, we're really trying to get the main ideas and understanding sort of the main principles. And so we'll talk about things like the photoelectric effect, um, the uncertainty principle, and how that goes into play also when we uh, start talking about matter and in particular models of the atom. So the chapter is structured similar to other chapters. Um, and so we have our pre-chapter check. The content with so quantum physics lectures, lecture videos, and then you can see it's actually we have two tabs, so quantum physics and atomic physics. Because I mentioned how that plays into the models of the atom, and this could be it's an entire chapter that's called atomic physics. And usually when we start describing atoms, and some of this may be familiar if you've taken chemistry, but we'll start with the simplest one and we look at the model of the hydrogen atom. So this is described in these videos. And it does explain a lot of things that classical physics is not able to explain. Um, All right, so you have the homework, and then the discussion for this week is based on this video. So it's a short video that talks about Schrödinger's cat, and you may have heard about this. So it will explain more. And so if you find that quantum physics is difficult to understand and wrap your head around, you're not alone. And we used to have a soccer ball that we would kick and we would know where it would land based on initial conditions. Now we're going to see that it's more about probabilities of finding an electron somewhere, for example. And so a lot of physicists also found that to be very peculiar. So they would find these sort of ideas and ways to, examples that wouldn't make sense, and these paradoxes to say, hey, like, see, this doesn't make sense. Um, and so there are a number of, paradoxes, quantum physics paradoxes that you can talk about in this discussion. So you're welcome to um, use what you see in the video. If you know of other ones or if you want to look them up, you can also share those instead. But this is a good video also that ties quantum physics with some of the applications that you see in technology and why this is important, and you may think about quantum computers because that's in the name, but even in the way electronics work, it's really important to understand quantum physics. So this is our chapter on quantum physics. What you will notice on the quantum physics deadlines, they're also shifted because I didn't want you to have the deadlines for the exam, right? So the exam is due November 16th. So I also didn't want everything to be due at the same time. So this is also pushed back to November 18th. So this, because of the holidays and whatnot, we're shifting dates around, and you'll see kind of the same for the next one due to Thanksgiving that's going to be coming up. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And yeah, I can't wait to, see your projects, and I want to also wish you good luck this week with your third exam. Um, I'm sure it's going to go very well. You're almost done, right? So this exam three, and then after that we have the final. I mean, along with the assignments that we have left, but three more chapters, and that's it. and that we're getting to the end of the semester. So well done. It is a lot of physics, but you're doing amazing. So keep on going. All right. Thank you.